discuss. Since then, the FBI have asked, can we go? And it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out about suspects, and I want to be very clear. We have not identified a suspect or a person of interest case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of them, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites. And sometimes that stuff comes back to us, and like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back, or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family. Just visiting. 4:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family. Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes. It is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:40 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself, cut out. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. We'll hang up on that. 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker said it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, well, how come there's an ICAC member out here, or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure. I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've got the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera, it was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from. It's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves. Importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Oh, here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been assistant agent in charge with the FBI here at the Tucson office. Keith Yankee is the special agent in charge for the state of Arizona out of Phoenix, and he will come up and speak.
Thank you, Sheriff. Hello, I'm Heath Yankee, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Phoenix Division. First, I want to let the Guthrie family know that our hearts are heavy for them. After seeing your message last night, it is clear that you and your family are in pain. Please know that we are doing everything to bring your mother home. The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information into the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest of anyone involved in her disappearance, and this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partner, the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our critical incident response group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our cellular analysis survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information. We are actively reviewing and analyzing information from all digital sources, which includes banks, social media companies, phone companies, and any other organizations where a digital footprint could have been captured. All this information provides data points and helps put the picture together. And we will be in the community continuing to conduct a thorough investigation with others. You heard about us out there last night. We will be back out there today. I would ask the media, give our investigators the space to do their jobs while they're out there. Next, regarding the ransom letter. We are aware of a ransom letter that was sent to the local media and then to national outlets. As with every lead, we are taking it seriously. We are in communication with the family, and while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family. Thank you to those in the community that have called in.
Welcome to our viewers on BBC.
News update. Those are the updates on the abduction of Nancy Guthrie from Arizona. Other news update.
We have made one arrest related to an employment, and the complaint will be presented to a judge later today. You will get more on that from the FBI, our U.S. Attorney's Office here in Arizona, when available. And that may involve do the right thing. This is an 84-year-old grandma. This is an 84-year-old grandma. Medication for her well-being. It's time to do the right thing before this becomes a worse scenario for you. Please turn Nancy home. Thank you.
Okay, so the first person we're going to start with will be national, Liz Price.
you walk us through the timeline from when you was here from 147 and the point, what you think happened there, and what particular software had somebody on camera?
I know we know where that was there, but I'm not.
Investigation that might be leading you in a particular direction?
You know, this is no different than any criminal investigation that we conduct here. Law enforcement has conducted investigations since 1865 here in the county. We're always mindful of what it is that's in front of us and what we should release and can release. There's legal guidelines that guide us, but there's also strategy too. So, I'll leave that for you to determine.
Now that you are having such an injection of manpower from the FEMA critical incident team and the FBI, we can slow to bring that in at the outset should all of these resources be brought to bear sooner.
I guess it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I do it all the time, so you have the opportunity to do it for me. I'll take that hit.
CBS News, Jonathan Milioti.
Sheriff over here, has there been any proof of life, and has there been any sign of life?
I'm going to, anything to deal with the ransom notes and that, I would defer to the FBI, but no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
And for my follow-up question, if I can speak with the special agent, what was it about this apparent ransom note that you first haven't been able to validate, and second, it warrants...
You've just been listening there to the press conference in Tucson, Arizona about...
Sheriff Department holds new conference in search for Nancy Guthrie. 84 years old Nancy Guthrie vanished from her Arizona home over the weekend. The police are still searching for her. Sheriff Department and FBI are holding talks with journalists to give updates about the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
I think one arrest. Are they all different? Or do you think there's different authors behind all of them? Or
So the one that went to the media is the one we are currently investigating and working on. The imposter that I talked about, where an arrest was made early this morning, that there will be more information. We believe there's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying to profit from it.
and Sheriff, you started off the press conference by saying you believe that Nancy is still out there. Do you have reason to believe that she's still out there alive? Or are you fearful of the worst case scenario here, that she won't be found alive?
Well, I'm certainly fearful of that. I think we all are. But it is, we operate from a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Michael Rose from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't. But no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So, you mentioned that you don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
So let's just bring you an update as to what we've been hearing here.
The sheriff believes Nancy Guthrie is still out there. Blood found on the Porsche belonging to Nancy Guthrie. $50,000 rewarded for any information to help finding Nancy. It's been 5 days since Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home in Arizona. Other news update right now. U.S. News anchor Savannah Guthrie pleads for the return of her abducted mother. Trump signals U.S. support for UK's Chagos handover deal.
Aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
A quick follow-up. Does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with the family. We talked about has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter, so they're still waiting for communication.
ABC affiliate Ashley Holden. Right here, Ashley Holden.
When you say the doorbell camera was disconnected, do you believe that camera was taken?
We do not have it in our possession. We've not located it.
And then a follow-up. I know that we've been hearing a lot about ransom notes. We were also hearing in that video that was put out by the Guthrie siblings, and I don't know if this is a question for the FBI or yourself, but the challenges of seeing an image and knowing that it's real. Could one of you address that? Has the family received correspondence, any image, videos?
So we're not going to go into facts regarding this part of the investigation. I think part of that message was with AI these days, you can make videos that appear to be very real. So we just take a video and trust that that is a proof of life these days because of the advancements in AI and trying to actually get a proof of life that we can verify. But we're not going to go into anything the family may or may not have received.
KOLD Catherine Patterson.
So, in regards to a timeline on that ransom note, is that being an impact in your investigation? Are we nearing that timeline?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So, in regards to the timeline in the ransom note, are we nearing that timeline? And is that playing a part in the investigation?
We're not going to go again into specifics of that part of the investigation. The ransom note, other than what we put out there. We've been transparent. We're talking about, we are working that ransom demand, but we don't want to go anything further than that could impact any opportunities. So thank you.
Is there any additional physical evidence at the crime scene other than the technology that you guys are using for this timeline? Is there technology?
Well, I think I said on day one is that it's technology that's going to really help us solve this case. But no, I mean, you know, we did do a process of that scene for biological evidence, so we're still hopeful that maybe something will show up there as well.
Arizona Republic, Richard Relas.
Great, Iñaki. Yes. We saw on the scene, I believe it was you, taking a tripod into the home of the sister. How involved was the FBI, if at all, in creating the video? Any advice?
I would say we use our expertise and provide consultation and advice anytime a family would ask for our advice in a kidnapping. It's ultimately the family's decision of what they put out and any messages they put out. But we were, obviously, you're all documenting every move we make. We were there last night in talking with the family. But every decision is theirs.
Right. Tripod and relay should have done. You said the blood was found on the porch and on the front stoop. Just wanted to verify that.
I say porch, front stoop. It's all in that same general area by the front door.
Front of the house.
Front door, yes.
What, given her medical condition and the fact that it was her blood, as you say, what would her medical condition do with her recovery if she indeed bled, bleeding when she left the house?
Well, again, I've got to be...
We're going to leave the press conference there because I feel that
the authorities of
The news update. Other news update. House and Senate Democratic leaders on Wednesday said Republicans shouldn't expect them to back a four-year spending bill for the Department of Homeland Security if dramatic changes aren't made to ICE. Drawing a firm line as funding for the agency is set to expire February 13th. Investigators have not identified any person of interest in search for Nancy Guthrie, who has been missing for 5 days, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said at news conference this Thursday. The FBI now jointly working the case involving the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie with the Pima County Sheriff's Department has announced a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Guthrie or the arrest and the conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. Bad Bunny speaks ahead of Super Bowl halftime show.
That I ever have done because it brought me to here, and I wasn't looking for anything of this. I wasn't looking for the album of the year, the Grammys, also the Latin Grammys. I wasn't looking for perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, and I just was looking for connect with my roots, connect with people more than ever, connect with myself, with my history, with my culture, and I did in a very honest way. I only wanted to perform at the residency, and that's it. I said I don't want to leave here. I don't want to leave. I want to stay the whole time. And then it was like, oh wow, the world really wants me. Like, so I should go also to give some love, show love to the world, to Latin America, and then the opportunity to bring that feeling that I put on that album to one of the biggest stages in the world is something that I never thought. So definitely this album is the most special because, as I said, I was trying to connect with myself and my roots, my who I am, and that tell you something that I already knew before, but now it's like confirmed. Like you always have to be proud about who you are and feel comfortable being yourself. Feel proud about your history and where you're from, but don't let that limit yourself. Like, I know where I come from, but I also know where I can go. So definitely this is an album that is gonna be in my heart for my whole life. So yeah.
Bad Bunny speaking ahead of Super Bowl halftime show. He will be first Spanish language artist to headline the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny speaking ahead of Super Bowl halftime show. News update and headlines.
Basically 70.
50% think Starmer should be replaced. They ask, did you think Starmer should remain as a liberal leader or prime minister or stand down? 50% think Starmer should be replaced. Starmer apologized to Epstein victims for appointing Mandelson. Email appear to confirm Andrew and Virginia Guthrie photo is real. Thousands without power in freezing Ukraine as Russia strikes continue. Gunmen kill dozens in Nigeria as U.S. military deployed confirmed. U.S. New Hampshire Guthrie plead for return of her abducted mother. Trump signal U.S. for UK's cargo handover deal. News update ends. According to a statement from her foundation, Mohammed was arrested in December during a memorial for all and human rights activist who was founded in Bad Bunny speak ahead of Super Bowl halftime. He will be first Spanish language artist to headline the halftime show. Bad Bunny.
The album that I was going to win album of the year, or maybe perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I told you, that this album, David Tira Photo, teach me a lot. And I don't know how to say in English, pero como dice el refrán español, el tiempo de Dios es perfecto. I don't know. Yeah. The God timing is perfect, and estoy muy agradecido. I'm very happy and grateful for life. Yeah.
News updates. Bad Bunny speaks ahead of Super Bowl halftime show. He will be the first Spanish language artist to headline the halftime show. Talks intended the Ukraine war concluded this Thursday in agreement to reopen a military communication channel between the United States and Russia. President Donald Trump's top foreign envoy said, so far no resolution to the conflict appears at hand. Negotiators agreed that the next trilateral meeting between Ukraine, Russia, and the United States will be held soon, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said. Chinese President Xi Jinping held a virtual meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday. Xi told Putin the two countries should seize this historic opportunity to ensure relations can continue. He regrets appointing Peter Mandelson to UK's top diplomatic post in Washington. British lawmaker agreed Wednesday to release documents surrounding Mandelson's appointment as ambassador despite his link to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Eipstein. Documents to be released come as the former ambassador, who has also resigned from Britain's House of Lords, is under criminal investigations stemming from the U.S. Justice Department's latest release of material relating to Epstein. Andrew Windsor, formerly known as Britain's Prince Andrew, has moved out of his longtime Windsor home and is now a resident of Norfolk, England. Royal source told last year that Mountbatten Windsor will be given a house on the King's private estate in Sandringham and will also receive an income from Charles, CNN.com. Penn State forward Gavin McKenna, widely considered to be the top prospect in 2026 National Hockey League draft, was charged with being two news update.
The leather goods from maybe end.
News update and headlines. News update and headlines. We're listening to the update on the abduction. Of Nancy Guthrie. Update from Texas. FBI and